about that speaker share the screen?
Couldn't hear you brilliantly. Miss, you are not so good online. Oh.
I can hear you. What if speakers doesn't have a laptop? Desktop? I'm using a laptop, but I cannot share from my side. Can work now. I've invited the next speaker, so we'll get also ready on the other side of the stream so that we get it going. Sorry? Hi, Martin.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm grateful. Thank you. How about you?
Very good. Very good.
That's amazing. Yeah, I would like to double check something from your side. Okay. Are you able to share screen from your side? Will you be sharing any screen?
Yes.
Okay. Are you able? Oh, perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, we are ready to go live, Alicia. Oh yes, fantastic. Yeah, we are live. So, GM everyone, once more, welcome to today's session, and we are really we are sorry for the inconvenience of the technical error that happened earlier, but we are on. So at this moment, we have Martin from Avalanche. And as we always do, go to your own Twitter space, tweet about this session that you are getting workshop from Avalanche. Tag Martin, tag Avalanche as well, hashtag Code Africa Conference, hashtag Memoir Africa. Make as much noise, invite as many developers as possible, because this is workshop meant for you, each and every dev. But once more, thank you for your patience, thank you for your time, and I'd like to welcome Martin. Martin, could you please introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Martin. I'm a developer relations engineer at Ava Labs, and I want to talk today a little bit about Avalanche and specifically what enables it with when it comes to customizing the EVM. So I want to talk first a little bit about blockchain performance metrics, right? There are many metrics to measure kind of like how a blockchain performed, and two of them are throughput and time to finality. And I think these are very important when we look at performance. So obviously there are other metrics, like decentralization and all this kind of stuff. But when we look at the performance, throughput and time to finality are very good measures. So time to finality is kind of like the time it takes from clicking send in your wallet to the transaction is finalized on chain, right? So it's non-reversible. It is done on chain. And throughput is like how many transactions can go through the system, right? Like many people know it as transactions per second or something. So I like to compare this to a highway, where the throughput kind of resembles kind of the number of lanes on the highway, right? Like how many cars can go at the same time over the highway. And time to finality is the length of the highway, the duration it takes from entering the highway to getting to the destination. And these are completely independent, right? Like we can think of highways that are, like a single lane, but very, very long, or we can see like many lanes that are very, very short, but also we may see, like many lanes and very, very long and single lane and very, very short. And so we kind of have to understand that these two are not necessarily related to each other and need to be measured independently, right? So when we look at like different systems out there, Bitcoin, many of maybe, it takes 60 minutes to finalize. So you send a transaction until it's irreversible. It takes around 60 minutes. And there's a very low throughput. So we can think of it as like a single lane highway that is very, very long. And then there is Ethereum, which is better, right? It only takes like 15 minutes to finalize and it has a higher throughput. But it still isn't like super, super wide, right? And it still takes relatively long. And this is mostly due to consensus, like the consensus mechanisms that are applied there. And then some researchers at Cornell came up with Avalanche consensus. And we can see here it has like a very, very short time to finality, below a second. And it has like quite a reasonable number of lanes, right? So we have like high throughput, but still low time to finality, right? Like a short time to finality. And that's kind of what we want from a highway. We want high throughput to cater to many, many people, but also we want like low time to finality, meaning you click send in your wallet and it immediately confirms, and you can see already the action. You don't have to wait 60 minutes when you buy a coffee, and by the time you can take it, then it's already cold, right? So this is one innovation, but also Avalanche introduces this notion of like being a multi-chain network, right? So instead of like having a single blockchain and a single validator set, Avalanche is actually a heterogeneous network of blockchain and validator sets. So what does that mean, right? So we have different networks. So we have the primary network, all validators, which are marked by this red dot here, are part of the primary network. But then we have certain subnets that only a subset of these validators validate. So we can see here subnet on the left, right? We see these 4 validators here validating that subnet. We see subnet on the right, subnet 3. 5 validators are validating that. And there might be overlaps, as we can see with subnet 2, but they might also be very distinct. The only thing they all have in common that they're validating the primary network. So there are a bunch of benefits of doing this, right? So first thing is scalability. Right, like we can think of every subnet here as our own highway, right? So these highways are independent from each other, and cars driving on one highway don't affect cars on the other highway. So instead of like building like a super wide highway with like 300 lanes, what we're just doing, which is very hard to do, by the way, what we can just do here is like building multiple highways in parallel to each other, which makes it very, very easy to scale, right? Like there's not a single, so what we believe is there's no single chain system that will be able to cater to billions of people, right? Like if a lot more comes on chain of our everyday life, it will just not be possible with a single chain to cater to all these use cases, especially if they happen, like all on the same chain, DeFi, like certificates, all this kind of stuff. It's just too much for a single chain. So building these highways in parallel is much, much easier because we know how to build reasonably large highways, but just not like incredibly large, right? So that's the first one. But also we have another really big benefit of this, independence. So we all know these times where there's an like an NFT drop on Ethereum or something, and the gas prices go high, and like even though you may not have anything to do with it, you just want to swap some tokens, you're still affected by activity on the network, right? So we see the same like with ordinals and many networks, right? Like it has something you have nothing to do with, still you have to suffer the high gas prices. So actually on Avalanche, these chains, these highway are completely independent. So just because there's a lot of activity on one subnet, that doesn't mean it spills over to other subnets, right? They're completely independent, and the gas prices are also independent from that. Also, another big one is customizability. So let's say, like we have different requirements, and actually, like what we want to do on a subnet requires very, very different setup. So let's say instead of traveling by car, we want to travel by boat or by train, right? We don't need a highway anymore. We need like a canal or some rail tracks. So it is generally possible to put that all in one highway, like have a water lane on the highway, but it's really, really hard to do. And, like you always have to be aware of side effects. If you actually have independent chains, it's really easy to adapt them to unique requirements. And these may be of different nature, right? They can be, like technical requirements. They can be regulatory requirements. So very, very different, right? So we have some really big benefits of doing a multi-chain system here. So generally, like, why should anyone build on subnets, right? Like, when does it make sense? First of all, you need a custom gas token, right? Like, so the project you're building is just like the chain out there is too expensive for you. Like Ethereum, like your users can't pay that gas. That is one. You have a higher throughput. Like if you're a high throughput chain and you need a lot of block space, you can easily do that on a subnet. But also, like access control. So on your own chain, you can have like access control. So you can control, okay, who can control contracts? Like, do you want to have only you be deploying contracts, maybe your partners, but not just anyone? But you can also restrict the validator set, but also who can use the chain, right? And then there's another one, which is customization, where you're like, okay, Solidity, like what I find in Solidity is just not sufficient or economical. And then we can, like build entirely new VMs or customize existing ones. So you may ask, okay, like how do I even launch my own blockchain? You can actually use a tool we've built called Ava Cloud. I encourage you to check it out. It's free to sign up. and you can, in a few clicks, just like create your own blockchain. So it's like very, very easy to use, and just doesn't require any coding or anything. And and then you can let me see if I can actually show you real quick. So as you can see here, this is a dashboard, and you can see here I deployed a number of blockchains. They're all devnets, so they are not live on mainnet, obviously. But there's quite a lot to find out here. So let's talk a little bit about the main topic of the talk, subnet customization, right? So what can we do with having our own chain, right? So when we look at the layers of blockchain, we have 3 layers in the Ethereum. It's consensus, execution, and smart contracts, right? This is simplified. There are a lot of more layers, but these are the most relevant ones to the dApp developers. So when we look at Avalanche, what we actually have is we have a shared consensus layer for all the chains, but the execution environment for our different chains is actually separate, right? So we can see we have like different EVM instances running for each chain that is on an Avalanche subnet. And now we can think about like, okay, like now we want to customize it. And there are a few options for this. The left one, VM configuration, is the most simple one, right? We can just change some parameters of the virtual of the EVM. It does not require any coding, but we can just change it. Like we use a different token, we use different gas settings. We restrict who can deploy contracts. This can all be done in simple configuration. The next step would be modifying, right? So we are taking the EVM and we extend it through plugins called precompiles. This requires a little bit of coding, but nowhere close to as much coding as building your own VM. And then the last part is VM creation, where you actually build up like your entire VM, either from scratch or using an SDK. So these are kind of like the 3 different modes we can achieve meeting our requirements on an Avalanche subnet. Right. So VM configuration, one thing we already talked about is allow list, right? Transaction allow list. Maybe add KYC to your subnet. Only KYC customers or only customers signed up with a certain account can transact on your subnet. Another one would be contract deploy allow list, right? So you don't want to have like NFT drops on your chain, so anyone can interact with it. But you can still restrict who can deploy contracts, and these can be combined. They can be left out entirely. It's completely optional, but you can use it. It's a feature of Avalanche. So like permissioning, you can think of it as like putting like a checkpoint at the beginning of your highway where you're like, okay, like only certain cars can enter the highway. And this can also be done with Ava Cloud. So if you check out the contract manager, you can add contracts that are allowed to deploy contracts there. And then let's look at the next stop, like precompiles, right? Modification of existing VMs. So if you think, okay, like the customization there, the configuration isn't sufficient, I actually need something. There's something super powerful we call precompiles. So the general idea is, to wrap a Go implementation into a Solidity interface. So, like Solidity is a powerful language, but not as powerful as Go. And by far not as efficient as Go, and there are not as many libraries, right? So there might be a few reasons to do this, right? Like you want to use existing libraries, I don't know, ZK verification or something. And instead of re-implementing all the code in Solidity, you can just do it in Go instead and use existing libraries. So how does this look, right? So basically you create an interface. You can see here for SHA-256, we created an interface just with a function. But note that there's no implementation of the function itself. It's just the interface, right? We're just exposing this for other contracts. And then we can see actually in my contract how I'm using this precompile by, like instantiating the contract, the precompile contract at an address. And you already see that the address looks quite weird, right? Like lots of zeros in there, starts with 03. This is a reserved address space for precompiles, right? So instead of, like loading the precompile from real address, we have this reserved precompile address space starting with 0x03. And now at the position 1 at the end, we have the SHA-256, and we can add any number of precompiles here. And then, as you can see here, we call it as if it was another smart contract function of But yeah, the implementation is not actually done here, but in Go. So if you're a little bit familiar with Go, I highlighted the relevant lines, right? Like, so we're just importing a crypto SHA-256 package here. We do some stuff with like inputs, outputs, but like the relevant thing is that we're in line 19 where we call actually SHA-256 library, the crypto library. So this can be done with anything, right? Like we could easily replace SHA-256 with a ZK library or any other, like intense computation you might want to do, even if you're not using any libraries here. And just do kind of like the heavy lifting here on the Go side. So why would we not do it? Definitely performance optimization. Go is very, very fast, very, very optimized, much more optimized than Solidity. But also we can use existing libraries, right? Like there's like a very rich ecosystem. Go is a very, very popular language. We see tons of ZK stuff, tons of other, like libraries that implement even, like business logic. If you want to build a chess game or whatever, there's probably a Go library for it. So there's like a lot there, and so we can use all that. But also, like we can enable interoperability with cryptographic functions that are uneconomical to re-implement or perform in Solidity, used by other networks. We can simply integrate them through a precompile. So yeah, but one thing to note is actually, so we have the layers of the blockchain, and as we see, like, okay, we have an EVM chain here. We can have also different virtual machines, right? So in case like, like the EVM is not sufficient, we actually see a team today building a MoveVM. So maybe, move from systems like Aptos or Sui or something. So there's a team called Movement. They are building actually a MoveVM. We also have other virtual machines building shared sequences on Avalanche using the Hyper SDK. So there's a lot to explore there. And you may ask, like, okay, why would you do that? The EVM just has some inefficiencies in it. It's a good first step. It's a very rich ecosystem. But if you want to build like very, very high performance chains, it might not just be sufficient. So you can see here some benchmarks of like specialized VM built with Hyper SDK. And you can see here we are having over like 100,000 TPS in the test setting. Obviously, in production, we will only see like 30 or 50,000 TPS, but that's like a huge lift, right? Like, so if you have a single application that needs very, very high throughput, maybe building your own VM is the way to go. But this is definitely very, very advanced. Yeah, so I encourage you, if you want to learn more about, I just did a brief intro on what's to come here. Enroll to Avalanche Academy. It's available at academy.avax.network. There are a bunch of courses taught by me and my DevRel colleagues at Avalanche, and definitely a great place to get started in the Avalanche ecosystem. And we have the Avalanche Fundamentals course, which is super, super simple. The Subnet Architecture course, which is also, it doesn't require any coding. And then the Customizing the EVM course kind of like covers much more in depth what I just talked about with the EVM, with precompiles, with all that. There are many, many exercises, and you actually get a certificate at the end, so you can show that off in your job application or on your online profile. Yeah, and thank you very much for your attention. It was a pleasure being here and getting in touch with the community again. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Martin, for that great presentation. I do have a few questions. And the first question I've seen from the comment section is, how can we access the resources that you have from the Avalanche, right? That's the first question. The second question is, what is the mission of Avalanche in Africa? What are you trying to solve in Africa? And how are you supporting Africa through Avalanche?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing, the resources, you can just find them at academy.avax.network, right? Or if you go to our website, there's also a link to the Avalanche Academy. It's completely free to use. Like no one has to pay for it. It's very, very comprehensive. So feel free. There's also a Telegram chat for the Avalanche Academy. Feel free. You can reach the DevRel team there. So if you have any questions, if you get stuck or something, we're happy to jump on a call with you, help you get started. That's the first thing. And the second question, so as you know, we've met at eSafari in Kenya actually. So we are just entering the African continent kind of, and I think our goal is really enable more people through education, build a career in Web3. And there are a bunch of programs. So Academy is kind of like the first step into the ecosystem. Then we have a grant program, right? Like if you're a developer, if you're a freelance developer, maybe you want to apply for a grant or something. And then we also have Codebase, which is an international accelerator program. It involves a $50,000 stipend, right? Where you enroll into a few weeks, like I think it's 10 or 12 weeks course, and then you have the chance to win, I think, a $400,000 investment in your company. And we want to really encourage people to apply with not, like crypto people solving crypto people's problems, right? We want to have people solving real problems. Something I'm super excited about is, for example, currency exchange, right? Like, I think especially relevant to many people in Africa, like exchanging currencies, getting exposure to more currencies, international currencies. So that would be like all powered by blockchain in a trustless manner. So we really want to encourage people, like offer all these programs, Academy education, grants, Codebase, our accelerator, to build a career, build your own businesses that actually benefit the people in your community, and not just another decentralized exchange or whatever, right? Like something for crypto people that just build more stuff for crypto people.
Have so that we can share with our developers as well if they did not manage to catch this, and as well if they did not manage to watch this, we are able also to share this in the social media and let them know that Avalanche has different types of opportunities that they can tap in. One question is, do you have an open source that devs can build on?
Yes. So actually, all of our code is like most of our outward-facing code is open source, right? Like our client is open source. Our virtual machine implementations are open source. We have Hyper SDK, which is open source. So there's a lot of stuff open source, and we encourage the open source community to take an active role in the development. We see developers from all over the world come in. The best place to look at is GitHub. Ava-Labs is the GitHub account of Ava Labs, and you can see all the repositories there. Many issues, many marked good for beginners. So definitely check that out. Most of them are written in Go. Some are written in Solidity. So there's like a lot of opportunity there.
And share the amazing thoughts that you learned from the Avalanche workshop. Tag Martin Ekikad. Martin, please pronounce your last name.
Eckhart.
Eckhart, yes.
Don't worry about it. It's not very common outside of Germany, so I got used to people struggling with it.
Yes. Okay. So tag Martin Eckhart from your social media handles, LinkedIn, Twitter. Share about what you've learned. Also, don't forget to share also the resources that the Avalanche has, right? From the open source, from the grants, from the academy as well, so that you're able to learn and utilize Avalanche, right? As we are looking forward. We are looking forward to have you more, Martin. Thank you for your session.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Yes. Have a great day too. Back to you, listeners. We are getting to our next session that is by Dominion Ndubuisi. Please, you correct me if I pronounce your name wrongly. But Dominion Ndubuisi is going to talk us about the AI era and opportunities for developers. I mean, when you mention about AI era, there's a lot of things that comes into my mind. You have the ChatGPT OpenAI that has really unlocked a lot of things for us. But now, how can we create the opportunities for developers? That is what Dominion is going to tell us. How can we tap into it? And once more, don't forget to go to your own Twitter space, tag Dominion Dubisi also Dust Technology is a founder and CEO of Dust Technology. Also share what you'd like to know about this session, what you'd like to get into. Also come to our chat box in EMMR Africa YouTube chat. It's ask any question that you have in person. Welcome Dominion. Welcome to this amazing session. Take us through the key steps that you have for us in this AI era. We appreciate you. And your camera is off. Oh yes, fantastic.
No?
Yes, it's great now.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for this incredible event. I've been following all the while, and I'm very impressed by the way, we are trying to organize the African developer into a community, not just a community, but a working community. So it's a pleasure to be in you guys' meet today. And without much time, I'll be discussing some of the opportunities for developers in the AI era. Yeah, of course. I'm just like she rightly said, I'm Dominion, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of DAS Technology. And overall, I'm an entrepreneur and a digital scale advocate. And recently, I joined the Black in AI, and it's a very big community where the Blacks are being recognized, and they are building so many amazing collaborations and products and solutions for the world at large in the area of artificial intelligence. My background is actually in mathematics. I studied mathematics in the university, and ever since I graduated, I have been an entrepreneur, working closely with fintech companies, and recently into blockchain and AI have always been my area of interest, even from my undergraduate days, as I want to do my PhD in robotics. So shortly, a kind of introduction to AI. AI is simply an acronym for artificial intelligence. And when you hear the word artificial intelligence, what comes to your mind? Something that is not natural, something that does not follow natural order. We as humans, we run with blood and water, and these artificial intelligence, they run with codes. And that's why I'm happy that I'm actually talking to a group of coders, a group of people who, handles code, because everything about artificial intelligence is all about coding. It's all about programming. And that's why you notice within the recent times, there have been a very big surge. In fact, currently there is still a surge in the popularity of AI, following the OpenAI products, that's the ChatGPT, and also the Google Bard, and in fact, so many products currently in the market that are utilizing most of the world-known open source AI, and we see how this AI is reshaping the whole industry from healthcare to finance. And that's why it's very important that as a developer community, especially in Africa, we also begin to look seriously into how we can develop products that are powered by artificial intelligence. Developing, the last speaker from Avalanche, spoke about building MVPs, building solutions that are actually needed in the industry or needed in the continent. So by the time these solutions are built, one of the things that is going to help to push it to the world, to make it massive, to make it much automated and personalized, is going to be powered by AI. And if you look at the current state of AI currently, you see that AI markets have reached over $190 billion. In fact, it's believed that by 2025 we'll be having over $200 billion at a 36.62 cumulative average growth rate. So innovations such as autonomous vehicles and AI in genomics and smart robotics are at the forefront. They are at the forefront, and that's why the opportunities for AI, for developers, is increasing rapidly. Is increasing very, very, very rapidly. Within the AI-related job roles in the last, let me say, in the last 7 to 8 months, have increased by over 74%. By over 74%, showing a surge in that particular industry. So that if you are a developer and you are hearing my voice today, then and maybe you have not started paying attention to what AI is all about. Maybe you feel you are still young in the developer community, or that you have not yet gotten so much experience in the industry. Then it's high time you started watching the AI space closely, because so many opportunities. Just a few minutes ago, I got a mail. Scholarship opportunities for people who want to do AI and big data in Newsland. So there are a lot of opportunities. There are scholarship opportunities for people who already maybe have their first degree in computer science, or have their first degree in mathematics, or in statistics, or in any of these related courses. There are a lot of opportunities. So for people who want to go deeper into the AI, who want to become developers in the artificial intelligence sector, then you have to consider some developer toolbox, some critical developer toolbox that will be needed for you to really understand deep learning, neural networks and reinforcement learning. These are essential toolbox that will be needed for you to be able to to harness the opportunities and to gain massively in the industry. It's still in Africa, I would say that the first section of the AI products are still at iteration. Most of the AI products currently in Africa, all of them are still at infant stage. So that if you see this as an opportunity, you can actually start now to build your experience, to connect with the right people, to really network and have your own contribution in the space. Okay, so building with AI from concept to development, we have seen there are a lot of layer one blockchains and so many other infrastructural platforms that are interested in Africa, and these people cannot function properly without African developers building on these different platforms. So that your idea or the company you're working with, those concepts that you guys have, there are stages in AI development, which is number one, problem identification. Identifying that this is the problem that you want to solve. Not actually when you have already created the solution, you now begin to look for the problem that is going to solve. That will be like putting a round hole, a square hole, a square hole in a round hole. It will be very, very difficult for you to gain market penetration while you have not properly identified the problem you want to solve before saying that you want to power it with AI, or you want to have an AI that will back the solution up. Then the next is data preparation. Data preparation. How much data do you have? The internet world is moved with data. In fact, the world at large is moved with data. So if you have not collected enough data that shows that, yes, that the problem you want to solve is something that is even that we need artificial intelligence in, then there is no need even bringing artificial intelligence to it. It takes me back to most of the experiences I've had in the Web3 industry, whereby people build solutions, Web2 solutions on Web3 platforms. If you look at the solutions, they're actually Web2 solutions, but they just want to bring it on Web3. And without blockchain, it can still function very, very well. So that's why data preparation will help you to decide on which tools that you can actually use with, that you can use to build, not necessarily always building with AI. So after the data preparation is the model selection. The model selection, and this is where you could begin to consult experts on the best model, on the best business model that you are going to use, on the best technical architects that you are going to use, on the best team for you to form, on the best even revenue model, yes, revenue model as well. So all these models from building from concept to deployment is highly needed. Then to testing and deployment of your solutions. So there are a lot of AI products that I've used personally, and I'm only seeing one African based startup that have built a very robust AI solution, and I will share that maybe before I round up. They built a very wonderful AI, powered solution that could help you, build different kind of videos, without so much stress. You give prompts, and this is what you want, this is what you want, and it gives you the video that you want. In fact, you can even, just give the app a link to a video, and it will, totally extract some elements there that you can manipulate and make that video personalized. So all these things, so many things are actually going on in the AI industry, and there are also challenges. There are also challenges in the AI development, and some of them have been on plagiarism and infringement of rights, but with with good frameworks of ethical AI, transparency and accountability and fairness could actually be achieved. And that's why communities like this are going to be very, very pivotal in harnessing the power of blockchain, harnessing the power of AI, harnessing the power of IoT, and the tech space at large, so that we'll be able to come up with strategies to tackle the scarcity of knowledge, and also development of robust platforms that will be able to power the next African AI platforms. So one of the things that will be highly needed will be collaborative ecosystem in the AI industry in Africa. Collaboration cannot be overemphasized. Without collaboration, we are not going to go anywhere. We will always be the users. We will not be able to build anything. And that is why open source AI projects are going to be like the next big thing for us in Africa. You see, most of the amazing AI products already are open source. So when are we going to have an African startup that will have an open source AI projects? When are we going to have them? We have the talents and we have the time. We have, the only thing we don't have is maybe the support. The ecosystem have not yet been harnessed that will help us to actually build most of these things. And that's why I'm happy that we are having this kind of discussion, having this kind of training, having this kind of conference, because this is the only way that we can actually come together to collaborate and build an ecosystem that will help us to grow as a continent. How is the future like? How is the future of AI like? What's the trend that we should be looking up to? Number one is going to be on quantum AI. Quantum AI could potentially solve complex problems that currently are not, as if they are not achievable. So you as a developer now, or as a founder, you have to begin to think very deep. What are those major complex problems in Africa that cannot just be solved easily? These are the kind of problems that when you use quantum AI, you will be able to provide a simple user-friendly solution that will be able to solve most of this problem. So there are some trends that we can keep our eye on, which are going to be on predictive analysis, predictive analytics. is one of the major trends that we should be looking up to, whereby people will be able to, use, big data. Imagine having the whole data of Nigerians, having the whole data of Kenyans, having the whole data of West Africa, East Africa, North Africa, in fact, the whole of the continent, and you're able to predict that, oh, this is going to be the next big thing happening in the tech industry, or happening in the health industry, or happening in the finance industry, and so many other things. So predictive analytics is one of the major trends that we are going to be keeping our eyes on. Then AI in IoT. AI in IoT. So when AI means IoT, a lot of things could happen, because recently there were some places I went to lodge, and I noticed that immediately I step out of the room, the light goes off. And even in my streets here, I noticed that each time I'm passing through, going towards the gate, the lights comes on immediately. These are AI, IoT in play, and we should be looking, very, very keenly into AI in IoT in the future, as it will be automating a lot of things in our continent. Then we have AI ethics. AI ethics is one of the major trends that we should also be looking up to, because if there are no companies, there are no startups, there are no agencies that are also, building solutions to mitigate most of the risk that are going to be prevalent in the AI industry or in the AI era, is going to be, very, very, very damning. And this is where even the government agencies will come in to curb and to, to harness, the AI space in general. So if you want to be part of the big thing, you want to be part of the people that's going to build the next African AI space, that are going to build the next Africa, AI products that will solve, in the major pain points of Africans. I encourage you to connect with me. I'm always active on LinkedIn, and I will also be active in the community that is, that have been formed, so that we can collaborate and do so many amazing stuff together. Thank you so much for your audience. Yeah, BC, yeah, getting it. Yeah, okay.
Check that we have. I'd like to ask you one question before I take the questions from the chat box. Is
Okay.
what vision do you see when it comes to AI in Africa? And I know I've been into several communication with guys who are dealing with AI, right? And these guys are telling me how AI is not recognized right now in Africa when it comes, if you are starting your own AI company and no one recognizes you, you can't get funding because people doesn't believe that Africa is yet capable of building solution that belongs to AI. What do you have in that? What do you have in mind when it comes to that?
Yeah. Actually, I see Africa utilizing a lot of AI products in the next 1 decade. Give Africa the next 1 decade, we see that it's going to be a kind of mass adoption of most of these products, because AI itself is going to drive itself. It's going to, in fact, I see AI as one of the things that is even going to drive blockchain adoption in Africa. By the time, currently there have never been a decade where there is a smartphone surge in Africa than this decade. This decade, there is a high rate of, influx of smartphone in the African continent, and also in the internet access. You look at even what Starlink is doing currently. Starlink is in most African continent right now, most of African countries now. So the accessibility and the having these devices is going to drive it. Most of us are already making use of AI in our phones for a long time, but not knowing that this is actually AI. You want to type a message in your phone, sometimes before you know it, the words is already completed. That's actually the power of AI. We are already making use of it already. You want to maybe you want to make a call. Immediately you type maybe one or two numbers. You will already see list of the people. These are actually most of the algorithms and data that have been that have been collected already in your own device, working there in your phone. So when we are talking about maybe what we want to see, my vision, about AI is that AI is going to power our agriculture. AI is going to power our our learning. A lot of African adults today didn't go to school. In fact, the education or literacy level in Africa is very, very, very low. And I'm telling you, AI is going to drive that because AI will be able to understand that, oh, this person only have standard 6. This person only have this knowledge of this, have this knowledge of this, and will be able to offer or to recommend courses based on the person's knowledge. Going out of, if you go to the class today, okay, let me take for instance some of us that are in the blockchain era or space. We are having an event and people comes for the event, and most of the time you don't take time to teach people the basics. You tell them, okay, download this application, you sign up here, you do this and you do that. The person has zero knowledge of what he or she is doing. But an AI powered edtech platform is going to take that particular student from step one, from basis to becoming a professional, to writing a certified exam and passing that exam. And he never attended a class. He never attended a class. He never attended a physical class. All basically with his or her smartphone and laptop. So I see AI powering our agricultural sector. That's another topic of its own. I see it also powering our education system. So that a lot of people who are not who were not opportune to go to school, they will be able to self-educate themselves and take some certifications that will make them become, even have bachelor's degree. Currently in Nigeria, less than 2% have a bachelor's degree. I don't know about other countries, but about Nigeria, less than 2% have a bachelor's degree. Yes. And I know it's the same thing in most of other African countries. So not that most of these people don't want to go to school, but they are not getting a personalized education, that will suit their lifestyle, that will suit them. So with the entrance of AI, it's going to, do a lot of work there. So for people who are in edtech can actually be powered by AI to address a whole audience that will, benefit maximally from that. Yeah. Thank you.
Lubiso, for that amazing explanation. I do have one question from the chat box. One of the members is asking, any ethics within AI usage? Is there any ethics when it comes to AI usage? Taking into consideration the harm that it can do.
Ethics in AI. Yes, there are a lot of ethics in AI, and it comes more into generative AI, where AI is a powerful tool that can actually be used for different types of things, and in this complex and ever-evolving technological space, ethics cannot be overemphasized, and there are companies and over there in the Blacks in AI, there are a lot of publications that have been made about ethics and fairness, bias and fairness in the AI, and AI system can perpetuate and amplify things beyond the way it actually was. Most of us must have seen AI-generated videos of Donald Trump. If you see it, you will think that these are actually real, but they are deep fakes. They are deep fakes. so that people could actually use it to generate videos to even molest someone or to bully someone online, and so many of this kind of things. So that's why it will still take AI powered solutions to identify this kind of deep fakes, to be able to curb a lot of things that are going to be happening in the industry. So there are people working on the ethics, and I tell you, government also is going to be highly involved, and associations of different calibers in the tech industry, they are also coming up with a lot of solutions and proposals, and a lot of papers to ensure that people are actually protected, and there is a high ethics standard in the industry. Yeah.
Sites when it comes to AI and how to explore the opportunities as developer. We are really grateful for your time as well. Yeah, and then back to you, our viewers and listeners of today, is we have finalized the topic on AI and the opportunities of developers, right? So go to you on Twitter, post what you've learned from this session, tag Dominion, BC, and Dust Technology as well. Make sure that you're making comments on what you've learned. Tag Memoir Africa, hashtag Code Africa Conference, hashtag Memoir Africa. Thank you so much, Dominion, for your great insight. We are looking forward to have you next time. Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Back to you, our own viewers once more is, I know we need to go break at this moment, right? And my guy needs to do a breathing also. So we have a breathing in and out session as we wait for our next speaker. Yes, as we wait for our next speaker, we have breathe in and session for the next 5 minutes. So we will get back here. I know it's 2:34 p.m. in East Africa, so we'll get back into 2:40. Yes, 2:40 p.m. in East Africa, 12:40 p.m. in West Africa, 11:40 p.m. in West Africa, in Ghana time. It will be 1:40 p.m. in South Africa time, right? And that is the time that I'll give you. So have this moment, have chat, take water, make sure you're taking water, making sure you are refreshing on your notes, posting at what you have planned, taking notes. That is really key, right? And if you have any question, don't hesitate to post here. Post also on the LinkedIn, post also on the Twitter. We have all people having your own ears on you. And today's also is Memoir Africa. Memoir Africa is a leading ecosystem of developers who we are working hand in hand to make sure that we are onboarding and nurturing more African developers to be the forefront of the technology, but also to be able to come up with solutions that scales across Africa. Right? From the past speakers, we've heard that there is each and every person is giving anyone an opportunity to build solution, right? There is all support that you need from the open source grants, from the grant, from the academy. So don't hesitate, go to your own Twitter, make sure that you following up on this organization so that you get all the support that you need. And Code Africa Conference is here for you, each and every person, and you be here as a developer, as experienced developer, so that you're able to network, to meet with experienced founders and developers who have gone through this before, right? That are sharing their own experience, but also sharing the workshop. These are the very important for you to get technical, for you to get into the developing session. And I would like to wish each and every person to have an amazing session, amazing time as we get back in the next 4 minutes. Tony. It's amazing to have you both. Yeah. Amazing. We are getting back from our break. Yes. And we'll be having David Adiola that will have you next Tony. Okay, that's well. So again, back to you listeners of today. We are really grateful for your time and for your session up to this moment. Go back to your Twitter space, your own social platforms, tweet about this session. We are going to have David Adiola, Aqua Labs Africa representative, and we are going to talk about funding, traffic exchange between local and international communities. So drop your own question on the chat box. Drop also any comment that you need to add to any of these sessions. And so I'll go to the Twitter space, LinkedIn, tag David Adiola, tag Aqua Labs. And we are looking forward to the next session by Tony Orlando, definitely Polygon. So these are the key things that you need to line up for you. Invite as much as possible. And we are grateful for 200 plus viewers that we have today. So make sure that you invite more. This is one of its kind that we have for developers that we are coming together. And our host today, is Member Africa. Member Africa is a living ecosystem for developers. And we are onboarding and nurturing developers in Web3 ecosystem that is for newbies in Web2, the guys who are trying to figure it or navigate how to be a developer. Member Africa is here for you. And Member Africa is sharing different types of services to make sure that you are getting in line, you are getting onboarded, you have all the necessities that you need to start as a dev career. And we have Dev Panthers. This is where we talk about experience growth, right? If you're having challenges, the myths and misconceptions behind developer sessions, right? You need to be here and here because we have experienced developers, we have experienced founders who have gone through this, right? So they're able to tell us how to move forward. We have also dev hours, weekly dev hours that happens here in YouTube. This is much of technical deep dive into different types of protocol, how to build, how to create, how to solve challenges using these different types of protocols. We also have bootcamps, we have hackathons, we have talent fairs, and we are partnered with over 40 universities to make sure that we are having all the necessities that we need. When it comes to resources, tools that we need. So Member Africa is taking an initiative of bringing laptop campaign to each and every university that we are partnered with. And we also have talent fairs. This is where we connect our experienced developers with the outside talents, right? To get acquired, to get the opportunity to be able to put your own skills to work. And next year we are proudly bringing to you EdTech to fasten more education, right? And we also bringing to you Pan Africa Conference to your own local community, so that each and every person are able to participate, but are able to also contribute to be part of it, right? And this is one of its first end of Pan Africa Virtual Edition. And lined up with us, we have our speaker, David Adiola from Aqua Labs. David, please take the initiative of introducing yourself. can hear you.
It's a VC company. I'm funding projects in Web3 space in Africa. So give me a second. There's an echo come from somewhere. Okay. Yeah. All right. So sorry about that. Yeah. So Aqua Labs is on a mission to fund and Web3 projects from Africa and also help entrepreneurs gain traction when it comes to investing and all of that. So we have a couple of projects here in Africa that we are pushing to the market to really solve major problems in Africa, because the major idea behind the blockchain adoption here in Africa is adoption, actually. So the idea is to be able to increase adoption here, and we have some couple of projects that I will talk about in a bit. We have Gamic, we have Biking, we have WorkFun, right? And the idea behind this project is to be able to solve realistic problems that people are facing in Africa. One of them being that many people are not so familiar with, I don't know why my camera is not coming up. Oh. I was wondering, so that's why I asked before, like, can you guys see me? Okay, that's fine. So, all right, awesome. Yeah, so as I was saying, so we have a couple of projects here in Africa that we are pushing to the market, and the idea for those projects is to be able to solve realistic problems that people might be facing, and one of them being Gamic. So Gamic is it's a launchpad that is built on ZK Sync network, and being built on ZK Sync network means that we're able to adopt the benefits that it offers, being able to issue out faster transactions, being able to do a lot of stuff. So the Gamic launchpad works on the blockchain, meaning that people can build communities. So the idea behind the Gamic platform is to be able to increase community. And so the idea is that if you have like a community and you want to build your community, be it you are a blockchain enthusiast, you are a gamer, and you want to raise your community, the idea behind the launchpad is to be able to have like a reward system that really works. You know, the people that are really putting the work in your community and being able to reward them effectively. So that's one of the projects that we have here in Africa. And so far we've seen a lot of positive feedbacks on that project. We also have Biking, and Biking is one of the projects that currently is a blockchain features trading platform that really helps people to. So you know what? Let me just share my screen at this point. So there are a lot of feature traders here in Africa, and the idea is to be able to give them easy to use tools, out of the box solution for trading. We have a couple of features coming up really soon, and we have some that are really up right now. And yeah, sorry, I want to share my screen. Give me a second, let me share my screen. Sorry for the background noise. Okay. So give me a second. Let me share my screen. I don't know why I don't share my screen. Okay. Why I cannot share my screen with the iPad? Let's share now.
I know Tony has been into a lot of things, sessions, moving from one country to another in different types of developer sessions. So these are the things that we are looking forward after David. So don't forget to click the button. Share your question also on here called Memoir Africa YouTube channel. In any question that you have prior or before, share anything that you need to catch up with them. Do you need anything that you need? Memoir Africa is here for each and every person. Thank you. David, are you able to put it up? Yes, I can see. Yes, it's still muted. Could you open my camera on that side? Yes, now we can see your screen.
From Biking Future Trading is you're able to work on leveraging, edging, speculation, market-to-market analysis, and also you can trade a volume range of assets. Like I mentioned before, blockchain enthusiasts, you can even trade, you can trade a lot of assets. So there's a lot less limit when it comes to the kind of assets you can trade on the Biking platform. So these are other advantages that it has. Yeah, so another thing about the Biking trading platform is that they guarantee a risk fund for about 50 million USDT, just in the safety nets, just in case anything occurs. But not that any of that would happen anyways. But that's one of the things that we put in place to make sure that people are secure about trading on the Biking platform. Yeah, so that's really more about the project here in Africa. Walk Fund is a project that is coming up really soon. Before the end of this year, we'll have Walk Fund out. So yeah, that's a project that we have here in Africa. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Great presentation from Aqua Labs. I'm checking on the comment section to see if we have any questions, but we don't have any question. I like to, I know I interacted with Aqua Labs the first time we were having the Eat Safari. And they are talking about how you guys are getting to Africa and doing the investment. I like to know what are you guys looking forward to and how are you also supporting the projects that are coming up here in Africa.
Just the project, right? The talents behind the project. So we are trying to create a very great support for the community. So for instance, we had 2 events. Yeah, I think that was within last month to this month. We had Web3 Summit Africa that we held in Lagos, Lagos Island. We also had we also sponsored an event called Blockchain for Financial Freedom by the Beachin Academy. And the idea and overall goal for those events were to be able to create, to really look at the people on there and how they're really creating great stuff. The idea is to really build stuff that works and stuff that is able to scale, right? And so when it comes to looking at projects, we're looking at projects that has like an overall idea of what they are trying to achieve, maintaining their originality, right? Each project has its own originality. So the idea is that every project has their originality and they're able to maintain that, and we help them maintain that, right? And so DeFi space, the NFT space, the GameFi, SocialFi. So those are the kind of projects. There's no like limit to the kind of project that we are looking forward to, helping out here in Africa. But the idea and overall goal is that the project works and the talents behind it have an overall idea of what they're trying to achieve. Yeah.
Thank you so much, David, for your time. Back to you, listeners. Go to your own Twitter, on your own social platform. Share about what you've learned from today from Aqua Lab speaking session. And tag David Adiola. Could you please give us your own social handles, mostly Twitter? I know Twitter is a bit different from the names that you use elsewhere.
Yeah, it's David Adiola _. So David Adiola then _.
Fantastic. Please tag David Adiola _ in the next we are getting to the next session. That is a next session by Tony Orlando at Polygon. And it's a workshop from Polygon, which is Introduction to the Polygon XLY Bridge. Right? This is for you developers. I'm seeing we are having over 200 viewers. Please invite as many developers as possible. And I know you guys love Polygon so much. We've been building in Polygon, so you should not miss this session in any case, because it's all here. We upload for you the qualified speakers, the qualified mentors, and engineers, experienced engineers who are here to take you through key things that you need. So also go to your own Twitter, tag Tony Orlando. He is so active in Twitter, by the way. And I saw him putting him a tweet on talking about his level. So if you're in Nairobi, you should be looking at these tweets at this moment. That's what is happening the next session. Also, welcome Tony. It's our honor to have you here. Please introduce yourself.
All the great work that Joanne is doing with the Memoi team as well, in bringing in basically pulling this event together. I know I have limited time, so I'll just jump into like a brief demo of. A brief description of what the Polygon XLY bridge is. And for that, I'll start off with just a bit of history. But before we begin, my name is Tony Orlando. I'm Tony Orlando on Twitter and on Telegram. And you can reach me at any time. My DMs are open if you want to talk. And I lead the developer education team, which is the global team in charge just of like developer education platforms. So let's begin from the beginning, which is Polygon launched the zkVM earlier this year in March 27th, and we're still in the mainnet beta. And essentially, what that meant was that it was a historic day for us and just for for our development generally inside of the Ethereum ecosystem, because we had another entrant into the ZK EVM space, and we kind of were able to further prove the thesis that this was not moon math, but it was something that could actually be built and made real. And what is a Polygon ZK EVM? Well, it's essentially a type 2 rollup, which Vitalik is on, who defined the various types as far as rollups are concerned. And Polygon ZK EVM is currently a type 3. We are rolling into a type 2 soon, which means that we have full EVM compatibility. And previously, as a type 3, we had partial compatibility. And so there's certain pre-compiles that are still being supported, but we're actively making steps towards type 2. And essentially, a ZK VM is built on two fundamental principles. One of them is zero knowledge, where we are using proofs to be able to prove the validity of a statement without revealing that statement. And the rollup essentially allows us to be able to scale Ethereum transactions. And so we're able to relieve any kind of bottlenecks on Ethereum mainnet by providing a safe context for the execution of transactions that are still constrained inside of the EVM environment. And what it means is that we're able to have different chains emerge that are able to reduce the demand on Ethereum, but still do so securely. And so what happens essentially is that transactions are batched and processed. So different transactions originate on an L2. They are then batched, they are processed, and they are made into blocks. And so each of those transactions go through the RPC nodes. And then from there, they're sent to so they're sequenced and they're aggregated, and then they eventually sent for proving. And eventually, after proofs have been generated that basically represent the changes in state, that state is stored back on L1, and eventually we have that full life cycle of that transaction. So why Polygon ZK VM? It inherits Ethereum security. It has strong EVM equivalence, and we're continuing to build and improve on that. And then it provides for low cost of transactions that can be very fast and performant depending on how you choose to do it. But then enter Polygon 2.0. So when we launched the ZK VM, we realized that there's more that we could do inside of this ZK thesis that goes beyond what we had initially scoped. And so Polygon 2.0 is essentially the next stage of the evolution of the Polygon protocol. And what it means is that we could begin to unify scalability and liquidity across various platforms and across various chains. And when we have that experience, we'll basically build an experience where it doesn't matter which chain you're on, it'll feel like one chain. And all of that is based on a brand new stack that we are building out, which has a proving layer, an execution layer, an interoperability layer, and a staking layer for calculation of rewards for network participation. So I'm just going to go off of a tweet that our CEO sent. So first of all, if you want to understand Polygon 2.0, we'll start from from the Polygon you know now, which is the Polygon POS chain and the Polygon ZK VM, which POS chain is what everybody knows. The ZK VM chain is essentially the chain that we've been using, which basically uses the ZK VM. The Polygon of the future is those two chains plus Polygon Maiden, which should be launching sometime early Q1 next year. And then the Polygon 2.0 endgame is all of those chains, all three of those chains, using Polygon ZK EVM. Oh, by the way, I should mention that Polygon POS is being migrated towards becoming a Validium, which means it will be using ZK as well. And so all of those transactions inside of all of our chains, and then there's Polygon CDK that allows you to launch your own blockchains as well, would be able to be all connected using the LXLY bridge, which is the focus of this particular talk. And so all of those chains can be used to transact across the LXLY bridge instantly using an aggregation layer built for the LXLY bridge. So in the end, Polygon 2.0 will have many chains with very many unique characteristics, but it will feel like one chain. And that's what we're able to build. So if looking at it diagrammatically, we'll have connections to the main chain, and the LXLY bridge will essentially facilitate communication with all of the various chains, which means that we have to then begin to consider what is a bridge. So in blockchain design, a bridge essentially connects two disparate blockchain, and it facilitates secure and verifiable communication between those blockchains to the transfer of information and or assets. And if you want to understand like the types of bridges, there are two primary types, right? So you have trusted bridges. So trusted bridges are bridges like Axelar, CCIP from Chainlink, Layer 0, so on and so forth, that depend upon a central entity for their operations. You're making trust assumptions concerning funding and custody, and ensuring that that person has a good reputation even as you begin. And then users need to give up control of their crypto assets, essentially. For trustless bridges, they basically use the same decentralized systems. The security that you're using is essentially the same security of the underlying blockchain. So these are the bridges that are built by the underlying blockchains, essentially, and they enable users to remain in control of their funds through different smart contracts. And so the way that you actually consider this is, imagine if we could have, excuse me, sorry, it's very early for me. But imagine if you could have the same underlying trust considerations of a given blockchain being extended to a bridge. That's what trustless bridges essentially enable and actually empower. And so the LXLY bridge, I won't go beyond this slide because it just goes into more and more. Well, there's the LXLY bridge, which allows you to basically deposit tokens on an L1, and then that's then updates a Merkle tree, or the particular data structure escapes me at this point in time. And then it's synced on the L2, the assets are claimed, and then it's validated, and it's completing, and then you validate the process. So the user initiates the transactions on the Ethereum L1 to deposit tokens into the zkEVM bridge contract, and that triggers the bridge asset function. Once the bridge asset function has been triggered, it calls the deposit function, and it basically adds a leaf to a Merkle tree, and essentially your transaction is now a part of that Merkle tree. After that, it's synced on the L2, so the L2 picks up that whole new Merkle tree, and it's updated on the L2, and the sequencer basically fetches that. It gets the global exit route that ensures that your deposits are part of that particular smart contract on the L2. And then once that is made available and is processed, once the sequencer processes your transaction, it then allows you to be able to claim it, and you could go into the claim asset function of the Polygon zkEVM bridge contract, and you could build that whole, you could actually initiate the claim. And so inside the claim asset function, the contract verifies the provider Merkle proof to ensure the deposit leaves authenticity, and then afterwards the funds are made available to you. So if you want to check out the code example for this, please do. The ping pong code example is a really good repo that has a lot more samples that you could build out. And if you want to know more about the official documentation, you could find that available there. Cool. I think that's it for me, unless anybody has any further questions.
We don't have any questions, so yeah, on the chat.
Cool. All right. Then I think I have no choice but to hand over to Amara.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank you.
Actually, I do have a question from my side.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a question from the chat box, but I do have the question from my side. The question from my side is, most of our builders are really creating Polygon, or rather say they prefer using Polygon in coding.
Ooh, we lost her. Yeah, we lost. In the meantime, I could probably start like testing out my rap album, which I'm dropping next year. So these are my blockchain bars. I am the captain now. That's how I feel. Now that we lost Joanne. So thank you everybody for tuning in to this particular talk. Amara, do you want to unmute and just give us a vibe? Can you actually sing on my album? You look like you could sing. We could do like a whole Nigeria. Huh? We could do like a Nigeria Kenya connection. That would go down really, really well. We haven't had enough of those collabs, don't you think? You could probably sing just as well as I could rap. So I'm just saying. Blockchain to the world, right? Okay, I'm actually gonna go off. Come on, Amara. This is our time. The universe has actually given us the opportunity to be able to launch our alternative music careers. In case this blockchain thing doesn't work out. Hey, Joanne. Hey.
Tony, I was asking, my question was, we have a lot of developers who are building in Polygon. I've noticed that majority of them after onboarding to Web3, Polygon is the primary language that they start coding with. Yeah, I'd like to know what is your, plus you are also from Africa. I'd like to know what is your future, or what are you looking for to bring into Africa as a Polygon member?
We're actually in the middle of like wrapping up our plans for 2024, but we have a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. Builder houses, we'll have a couple of builder houses in a couple of African cities. I don't want to disclose until things have been finalized and approved, but there'll be builder houses, there'll be events. So there's a major event we'll be planning in Nairobi. I think it's Nairobi. And there's some education stuff that we also want to be doing inside of 2024. So there'll be platforms for us to continue to engage and build with developers. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you, Tonyo. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your time. Also, I know it's 6 a.m. your time, which is really so early. So we really appreciate your time. Taking your time to come and share with us this insightful session. But also thank you as well, as I've seen you keeping doing a lot of work in Twitter, connecting a lot of developers in Twitter. That is really amazing. We really truly appreciate. Thank you for your time.
Thanks,
so back to our listeners. Please go to your Twitter, text, chat, or tweet what we have at the moment. The session that is still flowing, that we have finalized. Tweet what you plan from the Polygon side, what you need to acquire as well as from Polygon. Thank Tony, right? Your part, he has a lot of things that is coming up. So make sure that you're on this chat, on this Twitter comment section, asking whatever that you need, any assistance that you need from the Polygon side. Thank you so much, Tony. And we are moving forward to have Mara. I know majority of you know Mara. I do know also Mara from online. I know Mara you don't know, but I do know you from online as Mara Blossom. I know that is a really famous name that you do know you, right? And you have been doing a lot of amazing sessions, amazing things on the LinkedIn mostly. That's why I know you personally from LinkedIn, posting, doing a lot of things in Women in DeFi. Women in DeFi is giving us chills outside there. If you guys decide to host an event, it's not a joke. You are blowing up your own platforms. Yeah, we are really honored to have you, to also have the insight that you are from there, but mostly also how do you bring inclusivity in blockchain ecosystem, right? How you increasing the women in organization? What are those key initiatives that you have? Please introduce yourself.
All right, so I think it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Achusi Amara Jennifer. I'm a community and growth strategist, and I am the programs manager of Women in DeFi. Women in DeFi is a community set out to onboard women into the Web3 space, providing them with the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in the blockchain space. And yeah, that's a little about me. John, can I start my session now?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Before you go ahead, let me pinch my own viewers. Go to your own Twitter, invite as more people as possible. Tell them that also women are in blockchain and they're building. They need to come and hear the stories, and for the stories, tag Mara Blossom. And you go by the Mara Blossom is also Twitter, correct? Yeah, that
Yes,
Mara
yes,
Blossom, that women in DeFi, invite as many as possible to this session. But I'd like also thank our viewers, the 200 plus viewers. We are really grateful for your time. We are really grateful for working with us in this early 100. And welcome, Mara.
Thank you. So I'm trying to invite people from my end as well. All right, so I would like to share my screen before we start. You said? Yeah, that's what I'm using. Can you see my screen? Well, can you still see my face? All right. So once again, good afternoon, everybody. Before we start, I want to give a big shout out to Mimoy Africa team for putting up together this amazing conference, and also for having me as a speaker. I'm actually honored to be here. And today we'll be talking about social proof and personal branding, a guide to building in public for developers. When I actually got this topic, I felt it was like really, really interesting. I've spoken about it a lot to a lot of people, and I feel like it would be awesome to share it with you all. So before we start, normally I do share stories when I'm talking about when I'm on any session. Yeah, they call me the Web3 storyteller because I use stories to actually simplify things. So this is a little story about me. This story happened. That was when I was trying to get my first job. And I was trying to get my first job as a community manager in the space. It actually came through recommendation, but I never really got to understand the importance or the essence of LinkedIn. I just created a LinkedIn a month before I actually before my friend referred me for a job. So when my friend asked me to send my CV, I sent my CV to him and he sent it to the employer. She went through my CV, but the only thing she asked for was my LinkedIn. That was what she was actually very, very interested in. So I was like, okay, I have a LinkedIn account, but I've not really posted anything. And my friend asked me to send it. I sent it to her. She went through it. The first thing she told me was, Mara, why are you not posting on LinkedIn? Why are you not posting your works on LinkedIn? And I'm like, I never really saw it as something I should really, really take important. So she told me, make a post now, just something about your work and intro about yourself, just put it out there before she sent my link to the employer, which happens to be her boss. And I had to do that. I did that immediately and she sent it. The employer was like, oh, I don't really have much on my page and she's not really convinced. It actually took a lot of convincing for my friend to convince her boss that, to convince his boss that I am actually good for the job, right? And mind you, if not because this job actually came through a recommendation, the conversation should have ended when my CV was sent and she couldn't find my LinkedIn page there. This is why building in public is very, very important. This is the reason why having social proof is very, very important. You'll get to understand more as we continue. So this is an overview of what we'll be talking about today, right? In today's competitive tech landscape, building a strong personal brand is very, very essential, not just for developers, but for everyone who wants to advance their career in a tech space. I mean, we are in a digital space. This is not like you're going to the market to go and patronize anybody, to go and patronize people. You are patronizing them. You don't even know them. You don't even know if they're a human being. You don't even know if they're a ghost. You are just going there to patronize them because you want to get what you are looking for, right? That's how it is in the market, let's say the normal basic market, right? But talking about the Web3 space, the tech landscape, it's a digital space whereby if you do not put yourself out there, if you do not make loud noise about yourself, if you do not create a social proof, I think in Nigeria, we love to call it evidence about what you do, you are not going to be considered credible. So social proof plays a crucial role in establishing credibility and attracting opportunities. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you a lot more about it. So this presentation will explore the concept of social proof and provide practical strategies for developers to build their personal brand through building in public. So understanding social proof. Social proof is a psychological phenomenon that influences our behavior based on the actions of others. I'll take that again. It's a psychological phenomenon that influences our behavior based on the actions of others. I'm going to explain that. Now, imagine me, let's say I am hiring and I'm looking for, let's say, a blockchain developer, and I go to LinkedIn and find somebody called, let's say, Elisha David, right? I go through his LinkedIn page. I see that he posts a few things. He posts about his work. He posts about what he has done in the space. He posts about his contributions. And then I'm still not yet fully convinced, but I'm looking to see if anybody has made a positive review about him. If anybody has endorsed him, if anybody has given him a recommendation, if anybody has really dropped a positive comment about what he has done. And then I start looking for that. Now, seeing what others have actually said about him, I am actually convinced that, Elisha is credible. He has built social proof. He got endorsed from industry experts. He got recommendations from peers he has actually worked with. It's enough to tell me that, I can actually, if 3 or 4 people are actually saying something nice about this person, I can actually consider him as someone who is credible. So the actions of others influenced my behavior to think that Elisha is a good blockchain developer. I hope we understand this. So we tend to believe that if others are doing something, it must be worthwhile or correct. If 3, 4, 5 people are saying something nice about this person, that means that they are actually right. I should actually see him in the same light, right? So in the context of personal branding, social proof can manifest in various forms, such as, number 1, endorsements from industry experts, just as I gave an example for Elisha. Positive reviews from your work. Now, positive reviews, this is very, very important. Whoever it is that I work with as a person, I always try my possible best to ask for a review. Whether it is positive or it is negative, I would always ask for it. And I believe you should also do the same. It's the tiniest thing you can actually ask for from any person that you work with, right? Maybe you finished creating developing a smart contract right now. What are you going to do? Hi, my boss. Do you like the job? What can you give me a review on the work I actually did for you? The person will gladly do it. It is for you. It helps you build your social proof. You can add it to your brand portfolio. You can add it to your brand portfolio. You can add it to your social media handles. You can add it to your CV and stuff like that. This would help you gain credibility and also offer you opportunities. It is not enough that your boss knows that you are good, that your boss knows that you did an awesome job. It is very important that you ask him to do drop a review for you, so that you can use to do you can use to build social proof for yourself. right? I think on LinkedIn has a session where this recommendation session where people can actually drop positive reviews about you on what you have done while they were working with you. This helps you build social proof and also helps you gain credibility, right? So whenever anybody goes through your LinkedIn profile, I use LinkedIn a lot because that's where I'm most active. But whenever anybody goes through your LinkedIn profile, they will be convinced that what you are actually a legit person for the job and you are the right person for the job. Then the next one, a large and engaged following on social media platforms. A large and engaged following on social media platforms. Now, a lot of people would say, having large followings doesn't count. Actually, most of the I will not say 40% of the time it actually doesn't count, but it's best to build your social media presence. This will help you being sought after instead of being the one in search of jobs, instead of being the one looking for your next employer. What do I mean? I'll give you an example. Few weeks ago, I was actually pitching to a brand. I noticed that they were trying to penetrate the African markets, the African markets, and they are looking for someone to host an event for them, right? So I was texting the CMO. I realized that he wasn't giving me that attention. So he was replying me more like 72 hours later, and the next thing I did was I sent him another message, and then I added my LinkedIn profile and my Twitter, the link to my LinkedIn and Twitter profile to the message. I told him he can actually check this if he feels like he needs some sort of something to actually make him more convinced. And immediately he went through my page. He responded immediately. He was like, wow, that he likes he likes what he's seeing on my socials, and he feels convinced enough to actually work with me because he feels like I can actually draw traction, and based on the influence I have, I can actually draw traction to his brand. And even though I didn't finally get to work with them because they didn't meet to my terms and based on budget and all of that, but it's something that I have seen on my own, and I can tell you that it actually works. Having a large and engaged following on social media would attract people to you in so many ways. Like you don't even need to be the one doing most of the job hunts. 50% of the time you already have your employer who has already been watching you from your socials, and basically he might not even be engaging with your posts, but he is watching you, he's seeing what you're doing, and he feels like you can actually make an impact. Right. And the next one, a successful open source student there. So she was reluctant about employment, but finally did due to the fact that she was convinced by a friend. So that was true recommendation. But recently, based on conversations I've had with quite a few people, I've gotten to understand that most people are actually looking for your socials. They get to ask you, can I see your LinkedIn page? Can I see your Twitter page? Can you send me a link to your socials? It shows that your CV is no longer enough at this point in time. Your CV is no longer enough. There's this thing they say, this idiom, they say, do not judge a book by its cover. But on the contrary, right? Right now, you have to make sure that your cover is upgraded. You have to make sure that your cover is on point before they start reading you as a person, right? Now, people can create CVs, they can write everything beautiful on it, but it doesn't show that, okay, this person is the right person for this job. It doesn't show that, okay, this person is credible, right? So most people will actually want to go through your socials, go through some of the reviews people have made about you, go through some of the works that you have actually published on your social media handles. This shows that you should actually, as much as you are working on yourself as a person, it is very, very important that you do what? Work on your cover, right? Nobody has the time to get to know you. This is not your normal market where anybody goes to meet you and you start talking. No, they want, as they're seeing your cover, they want to be convinced before they enter your DM to do what? To start reading you as a person. So you might have heard, do not judge a book by its cover. Please, nobody is very patient. No, people are no longer that patient to come and start reading you as a person. So please work on your cover. And working on your cover means building in public, building a social proof for yourself, right? So it involves sharing your work, knowledge and experiences openly with the online community. It involves sharing your work, knowledge, and experiences openly with the online world, with the online community. We live in a digital world right now. I mean, most of us, we don't need to stand up and wake up every morning to hit the road just to get to our workplaces and work. I mean, I wake up every morning and I move to my table and I start working, right? It shows that I live in a digital space. I have an online family and I have an online community that I need to share what I do with them. So this building in public is very, very important. As much as you have built yourself in private by developing your skill, acknowledging your skill, developing your skill, it is very, very important that you do what? Share what you do to the world. Share what you do to the world. Share what you do to the world. So the next one is this. This can be done through various channels, including blogging, open source contributions, social media, and speaking engagements. I mean, social media is like a gift to our generation, if I will put it like that. It's like a gift to our generation. It is very free. The only thing you need to do is what? Share what you do online. Share what you do online. Give people advices on how you feel that you can solve their problem. You have a speaking engagement. Share what you do. As you're done speaking, also put it out on social media. This can help you build what? Credibility. This can help you build credibility and also attract opportunities to you. Just like Joanne just said now that she has seen me post on LinkedIn. I mean, if I wasn't posting on LinkedIn, if I wasn't posting on Twitter, she probably wouldn't have even met me. She probably wouldn't have even considered me in the first place. But here we are, right? Building in public is very, very important. I was talking with a friend yesterday. He's actually learning cloud engineering, and he was talking about the fact that he has been applying for jobs, that he has not been getting them. It's quite normal, right? It's very normal that you get rejected on some occasions, but it is very, very important. I told him, why don't you start putting out what you do on social media? I mean, nobody knows what you do. You're just applying for jobs, but nobody actually really knows you. You can actually get jobs through recommendations or through referrals or through people seeing what you're doing on social media and reaching out to you that, oh, I like what you do, I like what you post, I would like to work with you, stuff like that. So his whole problem was that he likes to be low-key, he doesn't like to post. But I will tell you, before I actually joined the digital space, before I actually joined the Web3 space, it was very chaotic because I only loved my WhatsApp space. But right now, I'm on WhatsApp, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, everywhere, putting myself out there. I have to kill the shyness, I have to kill the dullness and just put myself out there, right? So I would advise that you do the same, right? I would advise that you do the same. We are currently living in an attention economy. It is no longer about who is the best developer. It's no longer about who is the best in this niche. It is about who is the best and who is well known in that particular niche, right? There's a difference between you are the best in this niche, and there's also another difference, and there's also this, that you are well known. People would likely choose that person who is well known compared to the person that is actually low key, unless you have somebody who is speaking for you on the outside. But apart from that, there is 100%, let me not say 100%, 90% probability that they'll pick that person that is well known, that people talks about, compared to you that is actually deciding to stay low key and deciding not to build a personal brand for yourself or build a social proof for yourself. So as much as possible, try and have an evidence, try and build social proof, right? So practical steps for developers. Here are some actionable strategies for developers to leverage building in public for personal branding. The number one, define your niche. There are several niches in the tech industry, right? You can decide that you want to be a front-end developer, back-end developer, blockchain developer, full-stack developer, right? Machine data scientist and all of that. You can define your niche and choose to work with it. Now, as you're defining your niche, that's where skill development actually comes in, right? You might decide that you want to be a front-end developer. then you start building yourself on becoming a block or a front-end developer. Sorry. Now, secondly, create high quality content. Create high quality content. As you're learning, nobody is saying that you for a long time but never really said anything. People would actually prefer to watch your journey. So do not feel that you need to wait until you're perfect in your niche before you start putting out content. No, right? You as your personal brand involves you as a person, your learning journey, your skills, what you do as a person, and everything around you. Every single thing around you. So do not say it as by you have to build an authority or you have to be 100% an expert in your niche before you start putting out content. The more time you waste, the more opportunities just pass by you. So create high quality content, whether you're learning, I just started my front end development class today. I'm excited to see where this journey takes me and stuff like that. You can put it online. Day one, what did you learn? You share it with people who even learn from you and also see you as somebody who is credible from there, right? So you can share your learning journey, share what you've done, share your reviews from peers or industry experts that you must have worked with and all of that. Then the top
Yes, I can hear you very well. Can you hear me on your side? Around 5 minutes.
Oh my god. I already rounded off my session before I realized that I was no longer
It's
being
okay.
prepared. Alright. So let me just okay. I think Harry's already up. Hi Harry. So I think Harry is up. Can I still conclude?
Harry, we were finalizing Mara event before, yes. So let's finalize. You dropped out because of network issues. Yes. Please go on, Mar. Yes, please do.
Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? John?
Yes, we can see your screen and we can also see you from the listener side.
All right, thank you. So I said here are some actionable strategies for developers to leverage building in public for personal branding. Sorry about that. So number one, I talked about defining your niche. There are several niches in the tech industry, Web3 space actually, right? You can decide if you want to be a front end developer, back end developer, full stack, blockchain developer, and all of that, right? You can actually pick a niche and decide to focus on it. Now, as you're learning, it is very, very important to also share what you're learning outside, right? A lot of people have this misconception that they have to be perfect. They have to get to this a stage of perfectionism before they start sharing what they know online, which actually is not true. A lot of people would actually prefer to know how you started, to actually get to share in your learning journey. To use LinkedIn as an example, right? There's something about LinkedIn, especially when you just start. When you just let's say you just started sharing content on the platform. They always not they. I would say it's very, very difficult for you to get engagements when you start. Please, when you start, do not feel overwhelmed. Do not feel discouraged to continue sharing what you know out there. Majorly, the people who would actually want to work with you, your potential employers would actually not even engage on your post. They would not even say anything. The only thing they will do is what, keep viewing what you post, knowing that one day when you get to the stage they want you to, they would actually reach out to you. So be consistent in sharing what you know. Seek feedback and what collaboration. Whenever you work with anybody, any brand, any project it is, please, it is very, very important that you ask for a review. Seek feedback, whether it's a positive one or a negative one. If it's a positive one, fine and good. If it's a negative one, take it with your heart and do what? And work on it to become better, right? Then also do what? Celebrate achievements. It is very, very important. You celebrating achievement. Then benefits of building in public. Number one, I already talked about it, enhanced visibility. It helps you do what? Establish credibility. When you keep posting what you do, projects you engage in, endorsements from people, from industry experts or your peers, you get what you get. People will see you as someone who is what? Who is very credible. And it helps you do what? Build your social proof. It helps you build an evidence that you're not just saying it from your mouth. It's actually one thing that someone is seeing you as that is actually one thing that you're saying that you're good. But it's another case when two or three people are saying that I've worked with this person and this person is actually good. And the third one, build relationships. As much as you're building online, as much as you are building a personal brand online, it is very, very good that you build a family online. It's very, very good that you build a family online. Reach out to people, send that connection request. Do not just go on your social media and just continue posting like that. It is very, very important that you do what, as much as you're sharing content, also try as much as possible to connect with people in the DMs. You never can tell who you would meet, right? Then another benefit is this: it helps you improve what your communication skills, and the last one, personal satisfaction. you as a person, you'll be satisfied that you actually did what? You started building a brand online. You started early building a social proof for yourself. And then the final thought, building in public is a powerful tool for not just developers, for everybody. It helps you to cultivate social proof, establish a strong personal brand, and also helps you do what? Advance in your career. So make sure that you do what? You embrace the power of building in public. Do not say you are shy. Do not say you are shy. I'll leave you with this. I think we are in an attention-seeking economy, right? Social media is a gift to each and every one of us right now. We are in an attention-seeking economy. It's no longer about being the best and you alone knowing that you are good in what you do. It is currently right now, it's about who is well known, who has built a social proof, who does everybody talk about, right? So make sure that you put yourself out there. Make sure that you are found. Building yourself out there will make you be found. It will help you to be heard, and to help you to be what? To be seen. So do not be shy. I was once shy. That was as of 2020, but right now I'm no longer shy. I'm putting myself out there, Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere. So please make sure that you take building a personal brand for yourself online and building a social proof for yourself. Very, very important. So you can connect with me on Twitter at Mara Blossom, LinkedIn at Mara Jennifer, and yeah, thank you. I'm actually a very, very shy person. I'm actually a very shy person.
You're meant of many. You're meant of many. I mean, I am a student myself, and I love how you are doing a lot of work in LinkedIn, updating what is going on. And this is what I was discussing with developers when we were doing the hackathon. It's a Paris hackathon. It was 1 month. And I was telling them right now, when it comes to the irony, if you don't put yourself outside there, please know that you're out of the game. Just know you're out of the game. Because right now we are in digital era. Everything is digital era. If you're going at, let's look at even the speakers. When people are using the speakers, they have to look how much influence they have with the ecosystem. Each and even the guys who are hiring right now, they are looking at what do you say apart from you having great skills. What are you doing outside there, right? And I keep saying that sharing, it's not only about growing your own followers and stuff, but it's also about sharing what you have learned, which is the key thing. Sharing more information about what you have learned. So I'd like to get one question from you. I know majority of developers call themselves introverts. Like they call themselves introvert. I can't go out there. What do you think would be the future of these kind of developers, or what do you think devs can do to improve themselves, taking into consideration everything that is happening, that is changing in the ecosystem?
So I've met a lot of developers, and then they tell me that they are introverts, but I feel like even me at a point I was, right. It's something that you have to make up your mind about. I don't want to be an introvert anymore. Okay, I'm an introvert. I don't want to make so much noise. I actually had to force 3-4 of my developer friends to start participating in events. Right, I had to make them start participating in events because I feel like they need to actually put themselves out there. And some of them I actually feel comfortable with the little they know, not little actually, with the much they know, and the fact that okay, they also have an amazing job. But it's not enough that it's only you and your team that knows that you are good at this. It is also because you never can tell. Most of the times we don't have job security in this industry. So it's always very, very important that you get to share what you know out there. Your potential employer might be watching you, waiting for you to just finally leave that brand that you're working with. And so it will help improve visibility and credibility for everybody. So it's not about being an introvert. You have to make up your mind and decide that, okay, you see what's be coming out. Yeah.
And I think one thing that I've picked from here is it's not about being an introvert. Like, let's be clear on that sentence. It's not about being an introvert, but it's all about how do you want to upskill in this market that we have. We know that markets keep changing, keep evolving. There's a lot of revolution that's coming up. And us as human beings, we must keep updated on what is happening. Thank you so much, Mara, for that amazing session on branding, which is so key to each and every person now. Not only to devs, but each and every person is working in tech industry. If you are not building your social media, I'm afraid we there's a lot that is going to slap your face if you can't do nothing. You go there and you're like, oh, I'm good, people doesn't see. Yes, people won't see you if you're not putting outside there. If you're not putting yourself outside there. This is not only for the employers, but this is only for you, and you're trying to change the ecosystem. I believe that social media is one of the powerful tools right now to communicate message, to also impact the society. If you have something that this is something that's really going to change the society. I mean, social media has made everything so simple. We are here because of social media. We are all here because of social media, connecting, trying to see what we can achieve. So thank you so much, Maura, for putting that point clear to each and every person. We appreciate your time. So back to you, our viewers, for today. We appreciate your time. Go to LinkedIn, go to Twitter, post about what you've learned about branding and putting yourself out there. Make sure that you are tagging Mara Blossom in Twitter, Amara Chusi in LinkedIn. I think you've quoted your name as Mara Blossom also on LinkedIn, but Amara Chusi also on LinkedIn. Go there, see the amazing work that she's doing. Actually, she's killing it. Trust me, guys. She's killing in LinkedIn. You need to see. It's all about learning. It's all about understanding. And what she says is really important. Start from where you are. You don't need to be expert. You don't need to know what and what. You need to start. That is the starting point. You need to start. Then the second thing is you keep consistent. This is things that previous speakers has been telling us. Consistency is the mother of everything. It's the key to the future. And we are getting to our next session. We're going to have Addison from Super Team Nigeria. Addison has been building the developers ecosystem in Nigeria for the past less than 6 months, I believe so. And they have the fastest growing community. And this is our time to meet and hear how do you also build Solana and earn at the same time. I do know that we have a lot of, apart from the resources that you do have, you also have a challenges of earning and making also making something that can keep us afloat, right? It's not only about learning, but also about how do you also upskill or put your standards, right? Like how can you make yourself stable work-wise? Yeah. Making yourself still putting something on the table, because those are the key things that we do have as we are learning. So I do also know that Addison is so big in LinkedIn, and also marketing and putting yourself outside there. So we are really honored to have you today, Addison, to speak to us, to give us the insight from also the experience that you've been doing. I know you've been working with different types of organizations to make sure that we are all unlocking what you have. Welcome, Addison. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, everyone. There's a noise somewhere. I don't know. Can everyone mute your mics? I'm very not sure. Since mics are muted. Hi.
Yeah.
Joanne, I still can't see how many persons are here. Feels like I'm speaking to myself. Your mic is muted.
You?
So I can't see like the guests, the attendees. I'm not sure why.
Yes, from the side of the speakers, you cannot be able to see it, except the side of the listeners.
Oh, that makes sense. So how many attendees do we have here? Kind of composition? How many developers?
So for starting the day, we're having 200 plus viewers. Yes, and we are starting in your own space right now. So we'd like to invite more listeners, of which we are going to get up to 200 viewers. That's the least number that I've been having in each and every session for
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to share my screen, and then we'll jump right into it. Please confirm that you can see my screen. All right, great. Oh, great. So my name is Harrison Obiefule. So a bit of my background here. So I started my Web3 career at FTX. Was, so can you guys mute your mics? It's distracting. Um, so yeah, I started my career working at FTX, and then uh, I was FTX's first PR marketing manager. I then moved to BitGet. I was at BitGet for a couple of months. I then worked at Cassava before I sort of quit paid employment. I think for me, I'd done a lot of work in the centralized Web3 space, and I was looking towards doing more exciting work around the decentralized core blockchain space. So when the guys at Solana called me to help build out this new community of builders, both developers and non-developers, I was excited. I had other sort of interesting offers, but this sort of aligned with what I wanted for myself after leaving paid employment. So for those of you that do not know, Solana is the fastest, most scalable, cheapest blockchain out there, and you can do your research on all of this metrics that I just mentioned. Solana is the fastest blockchain out there, faster than any other chain. No disrespect to my friends in Ethereum, but Solana is way more faster. I mean, scalable, and that is the reason why there's a lot of L2s here. No disrespect once more. I'm just trying to make a distinction. Solana doesn't need any L2s because it's the most scalable, fastest, and cheapest blockchain. And emphasis on cheapest because as Africans, yeah, we need something that is affordable to build. Yeah, you don't want to be paying exorbitant gas fees, and that is where Solana sort of thrives. The focus for those of us that are building on Solana, for the developers, I mean, it's already like the most efficient blockchain. So there's less focus on thinking around scalability and price. We just focus on building amazing product that users want, finding product market fit and all of that. And that's why the narrative online, those of you that are chain agnostic, you realize that Solana has the best UX in the entire crypto. So what is Super Team? Yeah, so Super Team is a community of builders. So builders consist of both developers, creators, operators, designers, writers that are working on exciting projects in the Solana chain. Yeah. So currently Super Team has 9 core chapters, including India, which was the first chapter. There's Mexico, there's Vietnam, there's UAE, there's UK, there's Nigeria, there's Germany. Next year, we're going to be opening more chapters in Malaysia, in Singapore, and a few other chapters in the Balkans, so consisting of like the Balkan states. So that is basically what Super Team is. It's basically Solana's expansion, sort of, I like to call it Solana's expansion to like the most elite community working on exciting projects on Solana. So I'm not here to tell you about what language to build on or what is the best language. Is it Rust? Is it Solidity? Is it no? I'm also not here to tell you how to become the best builder or how to no. I think as Africans, what is important to us is how do we earn and how do we grow? Yeah. So what we figured out is to be able to grow your community, a great community, your community members should be able to earn and also grow. So if you're not thinking around how to help your community members grow and earn, you are basically setting yourself up to fail. So there are very few communities that will tell you about the opportunities to make money, the opportunities to grow your career, the opportunities to improve your portfolio. Everybody just wants to tell you about building hackathon and building. So after you build, what next? What next? Yeah, I think as developers, many of us are tired many of us are tired of just doing hackathons for hackathon's sake. Yeah. So the question is, how do we consistently grow and earn? And I'm going to speak to you about it in a few minutes. Yeah. So Super Team, improve your earnings with Solana. So we're currently running a campaign called Only Possible on Solana. You can Google Only Possible on Solana and check out the campaigns. So why should you listen to this talk here? We have millions of dollars for developers, and we want to tell you about it. Yeah, I'm not to tell you about why Solana is the best language to be done. I'm just here to tell you that the millions of dollars that have been earmarked to grow the developer ecosystem within Solana, and I want to tell you about it. Yeah. So what is Solana? I've talked about this briefly. Solana is a fast, cheap, and developer-friendly blockchain for developers and consumer apps. Yeah, so that's the focus. We're focused on developers and also on consumer apps. Very few blockchain have this focus. I think we just spend a lot of time talking about technical garbage that is not of interest to the end users. Users don't care if your app is built on Ethereum or Solana or Polygon. They just want an app that works. Yeah. And so that is our focus right now. There's a lot of focus on building consumer apps that are relevant or be relevant to the end users. And so what developer building on Solana? So if you watch the Only Possible on Solana campaign, we have some very top projects that are building on Solana. There's Shopify, there's Visa, there's Helios, there's Dialect, there's Orca, there's Hivemapper. So these are like top projects globally, not just Solana, obviously, that have chosen to build on Solana because they've realized that Solana is actually the most scalable, the most fastest, cheapest chain out there. In fact, Visa wrote an article on why they're choosing to build their payments system using blockchain payments. They're using Solana. Yeah. So how can you start? Now, the misconception is you have to know Rust to build on Solana. That's the misconception that building on Solana is very difficult because you need to know Rust. That is not necessarily true. Yeah. If you know any of the following languages, you can actually build on Solana. There's JavaScript, there's Rust, there's Python, there's Solidity. In fact, if you know Solidity, there's something called there's a tool called Solend. With Solend, you can actually build on Solana if you're Solidity dev. There's also Neon. Yeah, so there are several tools that you don't need to learn from scratch how to build on Solana or even learn Rust how to build for Solana. In fact, many of the winners of the past hackathons were like first time builders on Solana. Just any language you know how to build. If your JavaScript is good enough, all you have to do is integrate Solana into your product, and you're good to go. So what's Super Team? The Super Team is a global community dedicated to helping developers and builders earn and grow on Solana. So we have something called the bounties. So bounties, if you go to end.superteam.fun, you would see several bounties. And we've had so many Nigerians and even non-Nigerians jumping on these bounties. So we have designer bounties, we have developer bounties, we have content writing bounties. Once you go there, you see different prices from like $50 $70, $100, 1,000, whatever bounty has been, whatever price has been put for these bounties. Yeah, or go to end.superteam.fund. Then there's something called Instagrants. You can get up to $10,000 on Instagrants. If you're bidding on Solana and you're looking to scale your products, and especially if you're a super team member and we can vouch for you, you can apply for a grant. And we've given grants. We give grants almost every other week, from content writing grants to grants to developers that are building on Solana to even designers. There's also job opportunities, yeah. Many times, I mean, many of you understand this. People like to hire within the ecosystem, especially if they're building on a particular chain. So we connect our super team members with other projects and companies that are bidding on Solana. That's one of the things we do. We also prepare for global hackathon. So Solana has like 2 major hackathons every year. What Super Team does is we prepare you, we teach you both the technical details of what to build, how to build it. We also help you with the non-technical details, like how to develop a pitch deck, how to think around go-to-market strategy, social media, and content. Also, virtual introductions. There's a lot of VCs that are looking to invest in Solana projects. A lot of them right now thinking that the bull market is coming around. Yeah. So what we do at Super Team is we introduce those Super Team / Solana projects to these VCs. That's one of the things. Those are some of the things that we do. So I already talked about the bounties. You can earn up to 7,000 bounties. You can $7K in bounties. You can scan the code there, and you get you go directly to the landing page. So the examples here: write a tweet thread about DLN, write an advanced developer tutorial on address lookup tables, SEO optimization, list for content, tweet this, redesign this, and you stand a chance of winning up to $7,000 in bounty. So the bounty prices vary. Yeah. Also, I talked about Instagrants. You can up to 10K. Apply, scan the code. It takes you directly to the grants page, and you can also apply. Also, hackathon. The last Hyperdrive hackathon saw someone win $30,000. The overall winner. Yeah. So his handle is Boga606, and he's the founder of Eplex XYZ. They won 30,000 as a overall prize. There was also a Nigerian winner in one of the track. Tochukwu started bidding on Solana less than 3 months ago. He won $5,000 in the global hackathon. There's also Shinada that won $1,000 in a smaller community-driven hackathon that we did. So and these are Nigerians, yeah. These are Nigerians, so anybody can win a global hackathon. We also help with pitch, like I mentioned. If you're a builder, we want to help you earn bidding on Solana. So one of the things that we do also is just having discussions with community members like yourself. Amazing thing with what the Code Africa Community Conference is doing. So these are like some of the things that we do at Super Team. So we're building a community. You can join our Discord, follow us on Twitter, and just generally be active. Next year we've earmarked like a lot of we've sort of created a lot of activities that we're looking to use to penetrate and like onboard more users into building on Solana. So if you have any question, there's my co-lead, who's Zubi. I'm also one of the co-leads. I handle more on the technical marketing side of things. Zubi is more of the business and strategy side of things. So yeah, that's basically about Super Team. So yeah, thanks guys.
At the same time as earning. That is from the side of the bounties. I would like to know, apart from participating in hackathon, or rather supporting hackathons projects, supporting them to build a pitch deck, what other resources are you putting outside there as Super Team DAO for developers?
Sorry, I didn't get that. You said what?
Yes, apart from supporting developers when it comes to bounties, creating the pitch, but what other resources are you putting outside there as Super Team DAO to support developers, the African developers, in this manner?
Yeah, so we're doing like local hackathons, mini hackathons. So we're not going to focus only on like the global hackathons. My guy, your mic is on. Do not mute him. Do not tattoo Chira. Your mic is disrupting.
Okay, allow me to check if there is a comments in the comment section. Yes, from the comment, see somebody, Victor is sorting out that we are alive in this relation-seeking economy, and we are grateful for the bounties that you are bringing. So the question that is asking is, how are we able to get in touch with them? How are we able to know the schedule and the timetable on how we are giving up? Because we have not experienced yet. We don't have enough experience in Solana.
Yes. So next we basically just started in Nigeria / Africa. So there's a lot of activities, like I mentioned, that we have planned out for 2024. So everything from mini hackathons to events to partner with communities like yourself to run specialized programs / hackathons. So there's a lot that we have planned out, to social activities, parties, all of that. Basically, we want to grow the development ecosystem for Solana. I mean, Solana is new. Totally, many people know that. We just came newly into the market, and we've had other people that spent considerable amount of time already on the continent. The Polygons, the Ethereums, the Silos have been here for ages. So, but Solana is new, basically less than around 6 months on the continent, starting from Nigeria. So from next year, you should see more work, more marketing, more activities to sort of help grow the Web3 developer ecosystem in Africa.
Fantastic. Another question is about South Africa and Nigeria. Which areas are you also in Africa?
Yeah, so we were at the Google Developer Event Conference in Accra last week. So we're not actively looking to penetrate into this market, like actively, but we're open to having sort of partnership with like communities in like different places. The communities in Ghana, communities in Kenya right now. I think that's our core focus. Then we have like an active presence in Sierra Leone, and that is because one of the global developer relations guy or developer basically at Solana Foundation, as the main Solana Foundation, he's British Sierra Leonean, so he's based in Sierra Leone. There's a big school, there's a Solana school in Sierra Leone that was built by Solana, where the people learn how to build on Solana. So we've had presence in that location forever, but we're looking to do much more, especially around community partnership in Ghana and Kenya, starting from next year.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much, Addison. Thank you so much for your time, for coming and share with us the knowledge that you have. And thank you so much for the great work that you're doing to Africa continent, and as well as developers when it comes to skilling. I mean, as you are all in this journey of anticipating the new wave of Web3 in Africa, that is building more solutions that can scale, not only solve the challenges that you're facing, but it can face outside Africa. Thank you so much for your time. And back to you, listeners. Put your LinkedIn, Twitter. Make sure that you're making a tweet or a post about what you learned from this session. Doug Addison from the Fairland. From LinkedIn, Doug Addison, that's Super Team Nigeria as well. Make the comments, right? Don't forget the lesson that we learned previously before adding to that. We need to make comments. Wherever we are, wherever we are participating, we need to make sure that we are also putting outside there. We are creating our portfolio. We are using this type of content to make sure that we are creating portfolio. So thank you once again, Addison. In our next and the last speaker, we are having Jumatatu Chiwa. Jumatatu Chiwa comes from TZ, and today we are going to talk about STEM. Mema is not only focusing about Web3 and other technologies, but you're also looking at the capabilities of other technologies, like when it comes to the STEM, when it comes to the AI, and when it comes to the blockchain. And we are really honored to have Jumatatu. Jumatatu has also been able to document a book, New Tech Solution, that talks about STEM and that navigate. He's not only doing that, but he has done a lot when it comes to raising awareness of STEM. He has partnered with several schools, primary schools, high school campuses, to make sure that the students are getting well equipped with this, with the STEM education. And we are really honored to have him here. Seems he has drop off. Let me follow up with him right away so that we are able. Yes, as we are waiting for Jumatatu and this last session, I want to take this time also to appreciate each and every person that has taken his or our own initiative to be part of this amazing journey, to be part of these 2 days of anticipating the new wave in Web3, but also working hand in hand that we are solving the challenges that we are facing. We are also meeting experienced developers and speakers to bring to us their own experience, right? And how they are building, and how can we all come together to make sure that we are focusing to not only solving the challenges, but we are also improving ourselves, right? So we have brought new speakers today from the side of the workshops, that is the technical side. We have also bring to you speakers from the side of branding. How do you put yourself outside there? We have brought to you speakers also who also show you how do you make money or earn as you build on different types of protocols, right? And we are honored to have you. We are honored to have you in these sessions. For the yesterday we managed to have over 1,000 viewers, and yes, today of course we have surpassed it with a big attendance, which I say congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to us. Congratulations to us. Yes. Jumatatu is still trying to fix the issue that he's facing from his side, right? So as he's trying to fix, I also want to shout out to the people behind Board Africa who asked me. Yes, the people who have been working behind Board Africa conference, that is Mema Africa team and other teams. I'll shout out to Mona Lisa Bata, CMO and co-founder of Mema, and as well as convener of this Board Africa conference. Shout out to Alicia, he goes by the name Bifa Defrel, Alicia David, Mema Defrel, and also the technical help of today. We have Jara Sule, the technical lead of Mema. We have Tijesu, email marketing. We have Nicodemus Guitar, social media marketing. Yes, we really putting you guys outside there. We also have myself, right? Yes, we also have myself, me and me, you doing me. You know what I do, what we do together, right? And Jumatatu has been able to join us. Juma, we are really grateful for having or spending this time to join us today to come and share the fact that you also sharing in Tanzania when it comes to the STEM. Also telling our listeners and viewers today that Jumatatu has done a lot when it comes to impacting not only youth but also until young age students in different schools, to make sure that they are also getting onboarded to STEM or rather utilizing STEM. We've also mentioned that you've recommended a book on new tech solutions, a STEM book that guides each and every person. And I mean, after this, you drop us in so that each and every person go and get that template, get the book, get the hard copy also shipped to you. Yes. Welcome so much to Matatu. Please introduce yourself. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Depending on the weather or where you are. First of all, let me say thank you for having me at Code Africa conference. And my name is Jumatatu Chira, or you can call me 3 names, Jumatatu Getiga Chira. I'm reachable mostly in LinkedIn. You can search Jumatatu Chira. I'm the founder and director of Youth Tech Solution, and also the founder of Tanzania STEM Network. More about Youth Tech Solution, let me not speak much because my network is not good here. You can search in Google Youth Tech Solution and you can access our website and more details. Today, we are diving into a crucial topic, which is understanding the power of STEM in Africa. Let me start by saying that STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's not just an acronym, it's a path to progress, innovation, and empowerment, especially in Africa. So let's explore why STEM matters and how it aligns with the broader theme of building an inclusive blockchain ecosystem for developers, as today's theme is. Now, the first section with me here, I'm going to speak on the landscape of STEM in Africa. To set the stage, let's take a snapshot of the current state of STEM education in Africa. While we see pockets of excellence, there is a need for more comprehensive integration of STEM across educational systems. Challenges abound, including limited resources. These are just challenges which are facing many schools in Africa in general. I can say one, I've said limited resources and gender gap, which these challenges lie different opportunities. They always say everywhere where there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. So as we see gender gap, outdated curriculums, and limited resources, this can be a great chance of having different opportunities. So by addressing these gaps, we can say we are paving the way for the generation or next generation of thinkers and doers who drive African technological advancements. So it is essential to recognize that STEM isn't just about, I can say, academic disciplines. It is a mindset, a problem-solving approach that universally can be applicable. In my second section, let me speak on powering Africa's future, STEM and blockchain. Now let's dive into the exciting intersection of STEM and blockchain. We say blockchain technology has the potential to revolutionize the way we engage technology, particularly in our continent, Africa. I can say blockchain, decentralized nature aligns with the idea of inclusivity. So it always offers a level playing field for developers, entrepreneurs, and innovators. So the transparency and security inherent in blockchain can address challenges unique to African continents, such as corruption, I can say inefficient systems. We have witnessed inspiring projects, different projects, I can say generally in Africa, not only in my country, Tanzania, where STEM enthusiasts leverage blockchain for social impact, from improving supply chain transparency to enhancing financial inclusion. And my speak on youth empowerment, through STEM. Allow me to share some stories from Mistake Solution in Tanzania STEM Network. These initiatives both focus on empowering our minds through STEM education. We have been seeing firsthand the transformative power of providing the live education, mentorship, and resources to our youth through programs that bridge the digital divide. We can nurture a generation that's not tech savvy but also socially conscious. And I can say mentorship plays a visual role when young individuals, system professionals who look like them, they can envision a future uh, they, they can be to or they can make a difference. Um, and let me speak on, if not my last section, where I can say building an inclusive blockchain ecosystem. Now let's lie into all together with the conference theme of building inclusive blockchain ecosystem for developers. Inclusivity in blockchain space is not just a goal; it is a necessity. Necessity. So we must break down barriers and create pathways for developers across diverse backgrounds to enter the blockchain arena through collaboration, mentorship, and education initiatives are keys to the success. Now, imagine the impact where developers from various corners of Africa contribute to shaping the future of blockchain application. So I can say blockchain isn't just about coding; it's about solving real-world problems where it's streamlining processes and improving governance or fostering financial inclusion. Or I can say the potential is immense. And by concluding, I won't speak much. My network is not good at this side. So in closing, I would like to emphasize that uh, the power of STEM in Africa extends beyond academic achievement.
Hello? Jumatatu, can you hear me from your side? Oh yeah. It seems Jumatatu has dropped off from he has been really facing a lot of challenges. While we have come to the final of World Africa Conference Virtual Edition, this clap to yourself. This goes clap to each and every person who have participated. Until right now, we have up to 144 viewers who are following up to till end. How lucky are we to have each and every person to participate in this revolution, in a revolution whereby we are taking Africa as a frontier in the market of the tech, right? Because we have all the resources that we need, we have the number, the population, and this is what speakers have been talking about over and over. We have the population, we have the adoption of the tech digital is really high. Every other thing needs internet, yeah. And as we finalize, I really want to shout out to these amazing designers who have been really helping us in Memoir Africa to design the website, right? They have been doing the great work behind the scenes. And today I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize Cornelius Oluwatim. Voila. This is really long now, but Cornelius Oluwatimilei KJ, you are UX designer. Cornelius is a creative designer with over 6 years of experience. We design skills cutting across visual design, product design, illustration, and motion design. Actively participating in problem solving both the Web 2 and Web 3 space using creative and professional approaches to achieve high quality, simple, and functional design solution. So, guys, if you are looking for a designer, get Cornelius Jeje. Look for him in the social handles. Get in touch with him. Our next person is James Abraham Dinedu. James Abraham Dinedu is a software developer who have, for the past years, he has built up a diverse range of skills, qualities, and attributes. He takes his work as a software developer seriously, and this means he always ensures his skills are kept up to date within this rapidly changing industry. So shout out to James Abraham and Cornelius Jeje for the amazing work that you have done. Another shout out goes to each and every listener of today for the time that you've taken, you have dedicated 12 hours since we started yesterday, 6 hours each day. This really shows how much we want to be impactful. Once again, I'd like to shout out to Memai community as well for the mild support that you've given us, in retweeting, putting outside there, sharing the information. Also, Memai team, shout out to each and every person for the great work that you have put in during this Code Africa conference. And as we move forward, we are anticipating the Code Africa conference physical edition, East Africa, next year May. We will also have Code Africa physical edition in West Africa, November. And this is not just the end of it. Code Africa is an initiative that we initiated so that we are able to move from one community to another, from one local community to another. So this is just for the beginning. Code Africa conference is going to spread to each and every country that you are in to make sure that we are coming together, we are networking together, we are creating opportunities together. We are also getting in touch with our well-experienced founders and designers and developers, techies, founders, investors from all over the world to make sure that we are all building this together. Memai Africa as well is bringing to you EdTech next year to make sure that we are upskilling our skills, right? And we welcome all people from starting from the side of we welcome each and every person starting from the any campuses. Make sure that you be part of Memai University chapter. And shout out to all 5,000 plus steps that we've been working together. And Juma is back. Please give us, we lost you a few minutes. Yes, please.
I'd like to emphasize that the power of STEM in Africa, I say it extends beyond academic achievements. It's about equipping individuals to be problem solvers, to be innovators and contributors to societal progress. So I can say our society progress. So as we strive to build an inclusive blockchain ecosystem, let's remember that every developer, regardless their backgrounds, has a lot to play. So I can say by fostering a culture of collaboration and continuous learning, we can create a brighter future, not just for developers, but for the entire continent and Africa in general. So by concluding, let me say thank you for your time, everyone. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts, maybe questions, and anyone who maybe can say, even I can contribute to what you're speaking. It's okay, but for more explanations, maybe someone is interested to know more. We can connect through LinkedIn. Just search Dimata Chira and we can catch up. And Engineer Joan spoke about my book. So about the presentation, I hope it was short as that, where I've spoken about the landscape of STEM in Africa, and I've spoken about powering Africa's future, STEM and blockchain. And I spoke about youth empowerment through STEM. And I ended by saying, or speaking about building an inclusive blockchain ecosystem. So those are the 4 things I've spoken, short and clear. So let me turn back to the book I've written. The book is called The STEM Book, and Engineer Joan has already spoken on it. In short, the STEM book is there to provide awareness all about STEM. So it's speaking everything which is done in STEM and the goodness or the importance of this STEM. The STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So that's short about the book. But if you need to go and know more about the book, as I said, this is my LinkedIn, and you get everything there. Let me maybe wake up 2 or 3 questions. So someone spoke that maybe people did not catch up. I can make it clear and try to have it here. I hope I believe that something to you about it.
Thank you so much, Timakato. And if you take solution book, please. It is in Amazon, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it in Amazon?
I'm looking forward to put it there, but for now, there are different platforms for Tanzania. For outside, I think they're delivering physically, not in Amazon, but here in Tanzania, there are different platforms which are not much known outside, which are doing the delivery of my books.
That's for sure. Jumatatu book as well. Pinch me. Connect with him as soon as possible and give you any help that you need. I believe he has been doing a lot of work to impact this revolution that we are in and to use tech as one of the powering tools. Thank you so much, Jumatatu Chiwa. Please follow Jumatatu Chiwa as well in his online platform, social media, and Twitter. Follow UTech Solutions. Comment with what you've had, post it, and share what you've also seen. Thank you so much, Madam, for your time. Back to each and every listener of today and viewers. Once more, saying we are really grateful, we are really thankful for your time, for your 6 hours of your time. That really means a lot to each and every person, to us as well. And today also is Memoir Africa. Memoir Africa is a leading ecosystem of developers and founders who are dedicated to solving to giving solutions to the challenges that we are facing using the power of Web3 and other emerging technologies. And Memoir is taking a forefront of nurturing and onboarding our developers into Web3, that is from Web2 to Web3, and as well as nurturing Web2 developers to see what is coming up with the other emerging technologies. And Memoir Africa is using different types of initiatives to make sure that they are reaching each and every person wherever you are. Memoir is uses bootcamps, that is hosting of bootcamp. This is coming and learning more on the protocols, building more. Memoir also uses hackathons. This is where we come and test the skills in what we're building and what we're trying to achieve. Memoir also have dev battles, right? And I mean, this is the one of the most important. Yes. So Memoir has dev battles. Dev battles is really dear to us. You know why? It's because this is where if you have any myths and misconceptions, if you want to start your own journey as a developer, if you have any fears, if you have any syndrome, this is much of experiences and growth of every developer. Memo is bringing to you Dev Panthers, weekly Dev Panthers in Twitter, in our X Spaces every Friday. So every Friday, 8 p.m. EAT, 6 p.m. West Africa time, and that should be 5 p.m. UTC. So don't miss out in this amazing journey for each and every person. Right? We also have dev hours. Now, this is when you have get onboarded to Web3. You get deeper, you get to learn, you get to get into technical. We are bringing to you experienced speakers and protocols from all over the world to make sure that they're giving you and getting you the right knowledge. We also have Memo Talent Fairs. This is where we are connecting our developers, experienced developers with the opportunities. We are connecting also devs with the global market, and we are connecting also global market to our experienced developers who are in Africa. Memoir Africa also uses Memoir meetups. This is where we come together, network, know each other, and also build the key thing, which is community, inclusiveness, work hand in hand. Memoir also have Memoir chapters. This is where we are partnered with over 40 universities to bring to you all these workshops to build an inclusive ecosystem for developers, right? But most importantly, this is why also we are working with all these campuses to make sure that we are equipping undergraduates with the right tools, that is starting from the laptops and anything necessary for you to prosper in the tech field. Memoir as well is honored to host a bootcamp. This is a combination of bootcamp and hackathons together, whereby you are learning and building at the same time with a guide of facilitators and trainers. Memoir as well as Memoir conferences, Africa conferences, and this is where we are all here to be able to come and learn the experience, to bring together the experience that we have, to network, to create, to learn, and most importantly, how to we build ourselves to be among the competitive globally. Memoir Africa as well is bringing to you 2024 an EdTech platform whereby you are able to learn, you are able to get acquainted with what is happening. So don't miss out the updates of Memoir in any case. And Memoir has our opportunity of having a successful over 4 bootcamps, over 4 hackathons, over 6 dev panthers, over 6 dev hours. I think dev hours are getting started. It's really getting also Memoir as follow Memoir as note, we have articles for the technical as well, and you need to be part of the Memoir. And how do you lead and how do you become a part of Memoir Africa? Join Memoir, go to all platform Memoir Africa, join Memoir Africa, follow Memoir Africa, be part of the community so that you don't miss out all these updates that we have. And another announcement that Memoir Africa is bringing to you is we just finalized Taylor's Bootcamp, right? And I know majority of you are waiting, we are looking to be a winner. So we are doing an announcement next week Wednesday in our X Spaces, putting outside the builders who are built on Taylor's and the successful. We are also bringing to you the awarding from the participants that participated in the challenges to promote this for Africa conference, $100, and also the people who also participate in Taylor's to promote the Taylor's hackathon. We are also having their credit. All of them is going to be done before Wednesday next week. So stay tuned. Also join us again in our socials so that you don't miss all these amazing announcements, all these amazing things that is coming up for you Dev. We are all here for you. So don't forget to share as much as possible what we have. And finally, please follow Memoir Africa YouTube channel. This is where you're also going to get all the technicals that you need, all the lives that we have, the amazing lives that is a lineup for you. Till then, I'd like to wish each and every person an amazing weekend, an amazing holiday. I know you are getting Christmas, the guys who are celebrating Christmas. Amazing Christmas for the guys who are in US and West. I know you are celebrating your Thanksgiving. We are really grateful for you as well. And have an amazing Thanksgiving. And as I finalize, I'd like to shout out to Alicia David, DeFi Devlet, Alicia, aka yes. This is what you guys like, aka DeFi Devlet, Alicia, our lead today when it comes to helping us in any technical issues that we have in our own online, and as well as there are today, yesterday, technical lead here in our YouTube in our session. And your presenter today, your MC, your moderator today is Engineer John Dero. I serve community through and my community. I borrowed this from Pilgrimage, by the way. I love how you introduce yourself, but as Memar, we are keen, when it comes to community, building an inclusive community for developers. And we are not leaving anyone out, right? And we are not leaving any stone unturned until we make sure that we are building a competitive developers globally and building the products that scale across Africa. Have a blessed weekend, Thanksgiving, and a wonderful Christmas holiday.